I'm Tony, and this is Earth Files Earth History. The past few years, NASA has been running a program called the Snow X-Field Campaign. And basically, what this campaign consists of is to improve the measurements on how much snow is on the ground at any given time and how much liquid water is contained in the snow. But within this program is a secret program. And within this secret program, what they're doing is they're locating, mapping, and sending their scientists to explore the remains of a pre-Adamic, pre-flood civilizations. This one area that they're exploring is called the Senator Beck Basin area, and it's by the Grand Mesa, which is the world's largest and tallest flat top mountain in the world, which is located in the Colorado Rocky Mountains. So I'm going to show you exactly what they have found in this one area, and you're going to be completely amazed of some of these structures and artifacts. This video that we're going to be watching, the information and the video can be found in the Goddard Media Studios under the Snow X-Field Campaign. So what I'm going to do is we're going to watch the entirety of this video. I'm going to break it down into 6 parts, play part of the video, and then we're going to look at the still shots from that area. And I'm going to explain to you what you're looking at. This is one of the structures that was found in one of the flights over the Senator Beck Basin area. It's A-frame. It is, of course, quite deteriorated because it's in the millions of years old. The frame itself is about a mile long on each side. You can tell where part of it was built with megalithic stone or megalithic stones, and these are many times the size of the ones that are found in Baalbek. And what was fascinating about this structure is it helps support a mechanical device. Here is a shaft. There is a sprocket like this one mounted on the shaft. It probably looks more like this. And it turned this shaft. Now this is a chain. Now as you notice that the chain has a geometric shape to it, this is found in these very ancient structures all over our planet and also other planets and moons in our solar system. And it was because these people were heavily involved in occultic practices. In fact, in the book of Enoch, they were told not to teach mankind these occultic practices, but they did anyway. So now let's take a look at the video. Now I'm going to start the breakdown of the video. In this first image, you can see where they've blacked out the artifacts or the structures that would have been visible, but you still can see that there's that triangle shaped stone structure in the back that house a mechanical device. And the reason we know that is because we have an image of one in the same area with much more detail. And then they somewhat blacked out and blurred this image, which was some type of structure or pipe that stood up, and it looks like it has fallen over. There's a closer view of it. You can see it slightly in this picture in that triangle shaped structure. Here is an extension of it. For whatever reason, I wasn't able to get this any clearer just due to the ossification of the whole video. Now I'm going to bring this structure in close, and then just in a minute I was able to get a decent picture of this structure of whatever it was. Okay, here's that triangle shape. It's quite deteriorated and eroded. It's already started collapsing. Now here's the match. Here's the one I found in the last video. It's still pretty detailed. You can see the blocks in it, the megalithic stone blocks, and then the mechanical device that I discussed earlier. And then here's the second one that shows up. And this one is, like I said, this one's pretty well deteriorated. So no, they're not the same structures. Apparently they had these mechanical devices all through here to open some type of giant doorway. Okay, the structure I showed you a while ago in the back, here it is. It's some type of geometrically shaped right here, here, and through here, and then it's covered up with some of the debris, I guess from when this was deteriorating, the structure here, and has fallen or has started falling apart. And then this is a clearer view. This structure right here is super megalithic. Unfortunately, because they destroyed their images before we get them, we'll never know what this structure was, but it is fascinating looking. Okay, we're going to go to the next still images. In this image here, this will be probably the worst image I have, but this is a structure here, our remaining part of a structure. It goes all the way around. Notice how the ossification actually looks like this was pencil drawn. And then back here in the back, you see these white areas or the snow areas. These are the remaining the top of structures, and the rest of them have collapsed in. So I'm going to do a closer view. And if you look right here, here's these columns I was talking about. You can barely see them, but they are here. And it almost looks like it was a double wall structure, because here's another one behind it, and then there's some type of artifact or part of the structure that was over the top of these walls, which is here, and it's covered in snow also. Now the area we're going to go into is going to be here in the back. And I know you can barely see it, but there's like some type of structure or a round structure or some type of dome with opening it right through here. So let's take a look. All right, in this first image, I'm going to actually clean this image up in a minute, but even though it's fragmented and it's quite light, here's that round or dome type of structure with an opening in the front of it. And you can already see them. Here's some type of platform with whatever these are sticking up out of it. And then here is the pillars are part of the structure that's holding it up. Now these are, of course, these are quite deteriorated. And then here's another structure that had quite a bit of it still standing, and they blurred it out too. Probably if we even got a decent picture, this still would be blurred out. Then you can see in the back there's a tall building here with some type of structure attached to it, and then this structure is attached to another structure. So let me clean it up so we can see it better. And now you can see right here, see this tall structure, and then you can see whatever this structure was, and you can see a little bit better of what it was attached to. And then you can see all through here, if you look close enough, you can tell these are structures. It's just that we can't see them because of the ossification. I'm going to stop at this area for a minute and just show you an overview of it, and then I'm going to go back to it because I want to show you one of the structures here that has deteriorated and has left the framework and or part of the construction of it still visible. And as you notice how this has collapsed and tilted, this is what I was talking about. This area, these artifacts and these structures were covered, and these snow areas here are the top of the structures that remain from when it was covered. Now, what this has fallen on, like I said, the obfuscation is so bad, there's no way of knowing, but I'm sure it fell on top of some of the other structures that were built underneath it. I'm going to bring this image in closer so we can take a better look at it, and then we'll come back to it here in just a minute. It almost looks like a crown. Here you can see it through here. You see a triangle shape frame in this area. Now in a minute when I show it to you, when we come back to it, there's a dark ring or a black ring. I think that they went over it to blacken it to blend it in so it wasn't that noticeable, but it will be in just a minute. To show you how large these structures are, right down here is trees. So this whole area was covered at one time, and of course over the millions of years it collected dirt and it was able to support a vegetation. The area that I was talking about in this image is right here. So now we're going to take a look at it after this part of the video. Okay, now give me just a second. I'm going to bring this area in closer. Here's the foundation left for whatever this structure was. Here's the 90-degree edges, which shows artificially and intelligently made. This is what was left of it. The structure that we were looking at, you can see where it had broken away from here when it had fallen over in this area. And you can see the trees, and this shows you how huge these blocks are, these stone blocks. Now we're going to take a closer and more detailed look at these structures here. And after I finish these single shots, we're going to take a look at the remaining, or the foundations that remaining from this structure here in the back. Okay, now this is when it gets really interesting. Just to remind you again the size of this structure, these are trees down here. This structure is unbelievable. Here's a closer view of it. Here's that dark ring again. The only thing I can think is before this thing collapsed or got tilted over or whatever, the reason this is round, and when I measured it, it looks like it does fit on top of this for whatever reason. Now I'm going to bring this in closer. So you can tell where this structure was round or dome shape. And then it was also two levels. Here's the first level, here's the second level, and then there's another structure on one of those levels right here. There's a lot of artifacts in here. Unfortunately, NASA had to destroy these images, so we couldn't find out our history of this planet for whatever reason. I can understand hiding some of the information for national security, but this definitely isn't a national security or could not be a national security problem. And then you can see the structures here that's built, and then this probably is snow over it, and then they brighten it to kind of cover it up, and you can see how much the structure has deteriorated. Then there's another image. And there's more of an outline with this yellow tint that I added to it. And then you can see down in here a lot better where they blacked all this out, how this did cover all these artifacts and has caved in. I'm working with these images as I go along. Okay, I want to show you this last one. Okay, behind that structure is the remaining structures that have deteriorated. But if you look this one here, this is extremely deteriorated. And this actually is one of those triangle-shaped stone structures that support some type of mechanical device. It's just extremely deteriorated, and how I determine that is the top here. They all have this triangle shape with an inset and some type of material coming out of the middle of it for whatever reason. It very well could be that these locks were used to actually open up the top to that area. And if you look right in here, it looks like a wheel. This is probably part of one of the gear systems that shaft was connected to help turn these mechanisms. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is extremely important for us to take this consideration in our past history. Without any doubt, they are covering up our past history, and it's not that they cover it up, but the reason why they're covering it up. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. This is Tony with Earth Files Earth History, signing out.